We get 86,000 viewers now on a fucking Wednesday morning. Imagine if this was a night.
Going up on a Wednesday.
Most people are at work watching this.
Alright, bro, it's 10 o'clock. Show me this shit. I like the roundup, alright? What's he saying? I can't hear it.
Mine still says a minute.
45 seconds.
45. Mine just said 45, so I'm a little behind. Where do you
5 miles out. Oh shit.
Dude, those are maps for sure.
Yeah. 9.
I'm still at 14. We're 10 now.
Uh-oh. Oh, we're cracking. We're on and cracking.
Hey, my fucking Henry said my audio's fucked up.
Viewers.
Oh, I think I know why.
This shit's laggy for me.
Weapons and everything this is
Hey, mine's just a little choppy. Hey, this shit looks hard.
You're here because you're the best special forces NATO has to offer.
You're all that keeps the world from turning to cinders, comrades.
We work off the books
Operate in the shadows.
to keep the wolves at bay.
Today, we reshape the world.
What the fuck are we doing in Miami?
the war run. And that's how it goes.
Keep pushing! No! Over here!
War flows, and that's how it goes.
Pre-order a digital copy and get early
Yo.
access to the open beta and instant access to
This
the Woods
shit is gonna
Operator
be
Pack in Modern
incredible.
Warfare and Warzone.
You just saw it. This is an unapologetically Cold War game set in the 80s, but it's still a Black Ops game. And for over a decade, we built our multiplayer experiences atop a core set of guiding principles. They form our pillars, deniable operations that deploy around the world, signature combat tailored to how you play, connected experiences that deliver free, robust, ongoing content, and integrate deeply into the next evolution of Warzone. Today, we're going to explore each of these facets of multiplayer. We're going to show you how this globe-trotting, cinematically connected experience is our most immersive yet. And then, we're going to show it to you in a way we never could before, with a little help from some friends. First up, the bedrock of Black Ops, deniable operations. These are the places in multiplayer you never saw and the things you never did. The missions that stay off the books and the targets and sources who stay off the record. The Cold War we set out to build is realistic. It's plausible. Most importantly, it's inspired by a gritty historical tone that we've woven into every element of our game's world and story and gameplay. Chaotic and always confidential, the deniable ops lie at the heart of multiplayer, raising the bar while creating a clear and
Can you guys
unique
hear me?
narrative that influences every bit of our world building. For Black Ops Cold War, that world building drove each multiplayer level in two ways. With the signature level design you've come to expect, and by pushing the visual bar and immersing players into a narrative of unfolding
looks like-
events. The fight to recover a downed satellite in the Central African desert, battles that unfold on the neon-soaked streets of Miami's famed South Beach. Deniable Ops are the Black Ops stories inspired by history,
Yo,
but
some of them
forgotten
look like some
by
of
the
the
history books.
Warzone.
We've selected
maps
5
now.
maps to give you a small taste of the range of deniable ops awaiting in multiplayer. Later today, you'll see them played. But here's a few of my teammates to share what they love most from how they were made.
My name is Brittany Beidelman. I'm a level designer.
I'm Kendall Snow, associate level designer.
I'm Brittany Perello, producer.
I'm Matt Kutris, senior level designer.
In Satellite, a top secret American recon satellite
Has lost power and crashed in the deserts of Angola. With hired DGI forces closing in,
now it's a race to secure the crash site.
what I love about Satellite is the fact that it's just this amazing natural space.
Because larger maps have more components, we can apply more details into maps like Satellite, which make them feel even more natural. The satellite at the center is like a king of the hill. Anyone who wants it has to run toward you because it's raised higher than the rest of the map.
I'm usually playing one of two ways. All in, full ham, dying again and again. Or in objective modes, I'll flank and get the jump on people. Satellite scratches both of those itches. Even though it's an outdoor space, the map's 2 different regions mean I can play long and short range tactics.
I'll be honest, I am trash with the sniper rifle, but a shotgun, that I can do. I have always been a big fan of close quarters combat, and there is great cat and mouse style gameplay in Satellite.
The Crash Satellite is a super fun spot to try and outplay your enemies. Predict which way they'll circle the
Yeah, I hope
debris
it's
to
not
run up
like
behind them,
some,
or just duck inside the satellite and take your shot.
This is going to be one of those classic Black Ops maps the world knows and loves for how quickly engagements fire up. East and West collide on the open seas in a top-secret mission.
Inspired by a real-life event, Project Azorian, CIA, JSOC, and Soviet forces converged to recover a sunken prototype nuclear Soviet submarine from the ocean floor.
The calm waters of Armada explode into massive naval conflict as players battle for control of large naval vessels.
With no lanes walling you in, players can engage on ships' decks, in the water, and on vehicles like wake runners and gunboats. Armada is chaos in the best way.
This really cool map that gives this amazing sense of exploration. There are so many little individual areas to find and new ways to surround or flank your enemies and get the upper hand.
A hidden safe house has been discovered right in the heart of the USSR, in the shadow of Moscow's opulent train station. With Spetsnaz dispatched, the area has gone hot.
So the Moscow map is set in the dead heart of a big city. So you're wandering through these streets with a bunch of cars, and there's tall buildings on either side of you.
There's this sense that you've been dropped into a point in history.
Man, that shit looks so pretty though.
First thing I do is run right to the center because that's where all lanes cross in the Moscow map.
This has to
And
be
eventually,
PS5 gameplay.
it doesn't take long, people are going to run through the metro station. So you can just sit there and wait, but chances are there's going to be people running right into your line of fire right off the bat.
It's a classic 3-lane map where teamwork really makes the dream work.
January 17, 1984.
Miami.
This location is heavily influenced by Miami's famous, or perhaps infamous, Ocean Drive. This is a night map, but one unlike players have seen before.
You can sneak through dark, shadowy alleys, go out onto the beach, out into the ocean.
You can dive in the water and wade along the coast to get the drop on the other side.
Or you can just go right down the street and bask in the neon light.
The first time I played through Miami, I could hear this 80s nightclub music playing through the walls of one of the buildings. The little details make it lifelike, and it becomes this joy to experience.
Basically, my goal is to never be on the main street in the center because that is sniper heaven and that is Brittany hell. So I always go and try to flank and get those snipers from the back.
Our art and design teams worked really hard to bring the best possible night experience.
So
to
it's
the
a
players.
transition map
You'll see that
because I
play
mean they
out
just
when you
showed when
sneak
it
in the
wasn't
shadows
on
the
fire
beach,
and then now
or engage enemies in the
it
center
is on
strip.
fire.
It really makes people feel like
the
they're in
building.
Miami in the 80s. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
In Crossroads,
Yeah, it's supposed to be,
NATO has
supposed to be
learned
Ocean
a
Drive.
large Soviet missile convoy
That's a long
is
ass
on its
street.
way to the border.
Special Forces dispatch alongside MI6 to ambush the convoy and secure the weapons before all hell breaks loose.
Soviet convoy disabled.
It's one of our most cinematic maps with a boots-on-the-ground feel that feels pulled from the campaign.
Your team will want to hold down and protect its own outpost to guarantee access to one of these tanks. But infantry combat doesn't take a backseat in Crossroads, as natural terrain and foliage masks movements and provides tactical advantages.
There's a bunch of snowmobiles when you first spawn, and it's a mad dash to grab one. And now, running people over with the snowmobile is my favorite thing to do.
Each environment changes the dynamic of how you play and caters to unique loadouts. Crossroads is a bigger map, and that allows you to play the way you want to play.
The beaches of Miami, a frozen over lake, the open ocean. Our visual research department racked up miles visiting them all, because if you're going to deploy around the globe in this game, that required them to do the same. The mission for our artist is absolute authenticity. Step one in that process is photo scanning thousands of real-world objects, terrains, and materials. Those assets ensure our upgraded, physically based renderer delivers the best-looking Black Ops yet. True 4K,
Yeah, that's what I
high
meant.
dynamic range with the true color and tone, ray tracing on systems that support it, photometric lighting courtesy of our Luminaire system, and overhauled contour terrain system. The result is gritty, it's believable, I dare say it's got ambience. Most importantly, it sets the perfect stage for multiplayer combat. On that note, here's Matt with more on the modes and missions ahead.
We've talked a little bit about where you'll play, but let's talk about what you'll play when you get there. In Black Ops Cold War, our classic game modes are returning and they're better than ever. From the tried and true Team Deathmatch, Domination, and Search and Destroy, to the return of the competitive game mode Control. We've taken a fresh eye to all of your favorites. We're encouraging more meaningful gameplay with larger capture zones and domination. We're updating spawn systems in Hardpoint. And now we show you where the next Hardpoint will spawn so you can regroup, rotate, and set up for the next fight. Across all of our classic modes, we're working hard to make this the most rewarding and competitive multiplayer
Are they going to show the game mode?
yet. And while your go-to modes are coming back better than ever, let's talk about the innovative new modes you'll be going to next. With that, let me introduce you to my teammate Marquise Gladney, who's here to tell you about the brand new multiplayer experience we call VIP Escort.
VIP Escort began with a question. How can we create a game mode
Bullshit.
inspired by the
Hey,
kind
Black
of
Ops
real
had
life,
some of the
totally
worst
true,
spawn
but completely redacted Black Ops that first inspired this franchise? The result is Extraction in its purest form, a new 6-on-6 objective-based game mode we call VIP Escort. In Black Ops, we normally task you with fighting, but VIP Escort turns that on its head with a new mechanic. If you're selected as the VIP, your #1 job, it's to live. In this team-based op, your team will try to escort you off the map or eliminate the other team trying to stop you. As VIP, you'll skip creative class, you're too important after all. Instead, you'll deploy with a kitted out pistol, a smoke grenade, a spy plane for team
That's
intel,
hard.
and a whole lot of hope that your team knows what the hell it's doing. The mission? Stay alive and escape the map. To do so, you'll need to reach one of 2 possible exfil sites, which rotate over the course of the match to
Damn,
keep
you
teams
can't
on
even
their
have
toes.
a gun. That's
there are stakes here.
dope.
If you die, that ends the round. But team up and you can get your squad back on their feet quickly via last stand and revive. Each team's choices and tactics create layers of strategy and counterplay, injecting the best of Black Ops themes directly into
Oh, they
this
brought Last
competition.
Stand back.
Will your team pull Cold War mind games and misdirection by splitting up the squad to draw fire and create distractions for the VIP? Or is a full-on assault more their style? Will they travel ahead and scout, run protection detail, or take a bullet for you Secret Service style? My personal keys to victory? I stick close and escort the VIP and defend them at all costs. If the VIP doesn't make it out alive, it won't matter if you do. This new deniable operation only scratches the surface of what it means to play Cold War multiplayer.
Up next, we want to share another new way to play that goes above and beyond that classic 6v6 experience you've come to expect. Combined Arms is where multiplayer gets bigger and badder, bringing together the best of multiplayer's large-scale battles by combining infantry and vehicular gameplay into a single cohesive combat experience. In Combined Arms Domination, players will deploy into 12 versus 12 battles, each customized and unique to its own environment. But these battles aren't just bigger or more chaotic. We've worked hard to ensure the 2 levels of boots on the ground and all-out vehicular warfare complement and enhance one another on each map. Tanks, snowmobiles, wake runners, gunboats, and more. These vehicles amplify the action, sure, but they also create jaw-dropping moments right in the middle of the fight. The way I personally play Combined Arms depends on my mood. If I'm going for the win, it's rally time, and I'm pushing to capture every objective on the map. Whether that means loading up a gunboat on Armada or popping smokes so my team can cross the frozen lake in Crossroads, I'm putting my try-hard pants on and making it happen. And that's the thing, in Combined Arms, almost anything can happen. I'll seek out fun moments that aren't possible in other modes, like ziplining onto the enemy's ship and seeing how long I can last before getting taken out. At launch, you can expect even more Combined Arms maps and modes, each tailored and tuned to bring the most fun, frenetic action this format can deliver. Take Armada, our most unique map to date. You saw earlier that the only life preservers on this sea-based map are your tactics, as each capture zone requires a different approach. Will you attack surgically with a 2-seater wake runner, gather your squad and storm the main ship? From ziplines that traverse the map to all new naval tactics, Armada is Combined Arms Domination realized, bringing high stakes, high-speed combat to the high seas. On Crossroads, you'll trade your wetsuit for a snowsuit, fighting for control of Soviet bunkers across the frozen tundra. With high-powered tanks patrolling the frozen lake and surrounding roads, you'll need to choose how to take on those slow movers. So whether you're hopping onto a snowmobile for a quick flank or rolling up your sleeves and sticking on some C4, the story is yours to write in Combined Arms Domination. That's it for Deniable Operations for now. We've ziplined, crossed frozen lakes, and dipped into Miami's beaches. That's really just the start of the full Deniable Ops experience. Add up the work on your favorite classic game modes to the arrival of new modes like
Damn, they set
VIP
up a whole
Escort
damn
and
studio
Combined
for this
Arms
shit.
Domination. And it all stacks up to our most ambitious multiplayer yet. One you can play any way you want and in new ways you never expected. If you're a Call of Duty League fan, we have a bunch of new stuff lined up just for you. Stay tuned. This may be a multiplayer game built for everyone, but these will be your Deniable operations. And now, I'll turn it over to Tony to talk about what we mean when we say signature combat.
Thanks, Matt. Now, a lot has changed for us since the first Black Ops game. From our development pipelines to totally new technologies. But some things haven't changed. And after over a decade of making Black Ops games, we're more inspired than ever to keep honing in on that authentic, classic Black Ops feel, all while taking it to new heights. Now we know that to you, combat is more than just pointing and shooting. It's about how your operator moves and weaves through your surroundings. It's feeling the power of your weapon, how it reacts in your hands. It's the sound of bullets storming past you, the rattle and bang of firing your weapon. In Cold War, we're back to plausible, authentic,
Wait, you're not about to
boots-on-the-ground
play for the
combat.
day?
And that has allowed us to not only refine the feel of the game, but build on all the classic foundations of Black Ops. Heads-up gameplay, automated healing, and grounded movement. Keeping your player experience in the front of our minds has also inspired a fresh wave of thinking across our Creative Class and Score Streak systems, where we're introducing features that bring unprecedented transparency to your planning and cinematic wow moments to when you're playing. Now, innovating systems while still capturing that signature Black Ops super smooth feel is a notoriously tricky thing to get just right, and we put everything we have into it for each game. This is an absolute team effort, so I brought some of my friends from the combat team to help tell you about our initiatives for this game and how they've resulted in signature combat that feels just right. Here's Max Porter to start us off.
We've taken lessons learned from across Black Ops and the entire Call of Duty franchise to land on a truly best-in-class weapon experience. The gun is almost always right in front of you and must look great. From a gun's seams down to its grime, the level of detail in Black Ops Cold War has never been higher. But our weapons also need to move in a realistic manner. You'll feel it in this game, whether you're clocking from long range or firing from the hip. When we think about a gun, we think about the way it looks, the way it's gonna move, but a big part of a gun's personality is the sound that it makes. It's like the bark of a dog. We're sort of imagining all these guns as characters. That just adds to that level of realism and that sort of immersive quality that is unique to Call of Duty. It's this multifaceted approach to how weapons look, animate, and sound that together defines the feel of Cold War's signature gunfighting experience. Here's Alvin with a debrief on some of the other combat systems waiting for you in Cold War.